Worn and Wound had an incredible amount of brands in one location, making it nearly impossible to cover them all in the very short day that I spent at the event. Now, with that in mind, let's take a look at what I was able to get my very eager hands on. One of the first watches to catch my eye was the Sealander, a commanding offer by Isa, a brand that's been recently reignited by two striking gentlemen, and I can think of no one better than their co-founder to share the brand with you.
I'm here with the co-founder of Isa, easily one of the most impressive micro brand dive watches I saw out here. It has some of the best bezel action I've seen in anything else. So what do you think about the turnout, the amount of people that you have coming through?
It's really good, yeah. And what I like is that there are some tourists from Chelsea Market. It's okay, you've been seen, but you get a lot of enthusiasts, and they're like, okay, I'm coming to see your brand and can have a look and get really in depth with the guys. So that's cool.
So let's talk about the care that you're putting into the movement themselves, because I think the biggest complaint with some people when it comes to micro brands is that in terms of the quality and the accuracy of the movement, it's not really there because they're just being cased. Yep. But you guys are not just casing movements.
No, correct. We adjust the watch in 6 positions, so you have a real accurate watch. And Adrian is doing all that because he's a certified watchmaker. And we thought, okay, while we're on micro brand, we really want to show that we are watchmakers and we can deliver accurate watches. So.
And the timing results come with every piece that's purchased, right?
Yeah, correct.
So you guys right now have one model, is that correct, in 2 colors? What are you thinking about coming out with in the future potentially? Are you going to stick with the one model, or is there something else you're thinking about doing?
We're thinking about doing something else. We'll stick to vintage design, modern materials, and maybe a bit more in a sports theme. So everything will be a bit dressy, but also sportive. So we'll stay with great water resistance, because Asa is also known for the water resistant cases back in the days. So I want to keep that heritage alive.
So right now, the only way to get your pieces in the US is through your website, or do you have any distributors in the US?
No, we only do it online, because we want to have a direct conversation with our customer. So we know he's being treated the way we want Asa customers are being treated.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time and talking with us here at a Watch Collector channel. I really appreciate it.
The Rec brand piqued my interest when my dad sent me a link to a YouTube video covering this particular piece. Now, the P51 you're looking at is no small piece, but its bread and butter is that the dial is made from old Mustang cars, which were in turn inspired from the P51 aircraft. Now, they gave it a very cool dial layout and faced the challenge of treating the surface of the old Mustangs used, to ensure that the corrosion of each Mustang's sole would keep giving each dial its own character without spreading to the movement. Even the sides of the case embody the style of this classic muscle car. There's always so much to see from Oris and not enough time to see it. Now, the first beast is the Oris Aquis Great Barrier Reef. It really is a beautiful looking piece, but on my 6.5-inch wrist, it is certainly sizable. Now, I love the accents of yellow and the blue on the dial that might be easy to miss at first glance. Now, as with all the Aquis range, you better like the band you get on it, because it still isn't band change friendly. Now, that's something I thought would have been addressed by now, as they alluded to last year. Now, the Oris Divers 65 certainly has a charm about it, and this green dial version is no exception. I love the dome on the crystal and the way it ever so slightly distorts the hour markers. The bezel action isn't bad at all, although there is the slightest amount of play. Now, the needle's also fitted with the classic Oris buckle, which is actually pretty cool because it means you aren't just getting another run-of-the-mill NATO. The one disappointment here is a diver with only 100 meters of water resistance. Not really sure how that happened. Now, the Carl Brashear limited edition was nice to finally be able to try on, and I really am enjoying the bronze cases that seem to be in vogue at the moment. Not sure it's worth the big price tag, but it's a good looking piece and has a gorgeous case back. But it is also lacking in the water resistance we've come to expect. That's pretty standard with dive style watches. Now, when I spoke to Sam from Sablier last year, they hit the scene with this incredible case I had never seen before, and I was smitten with their shape, concave crystal, and dial. This year, they've expanded the collection by making a smaller version of this wine-inspired watch, along with a few upgrades. The dial is a higher quality, being full metal and allowing them to be baked, resulting in an exquisite color for the corkscrew seconds hand to sweep its way around. This smaller reference also features applied markers and a skeletonized hour hand along with a movement upgrade, shifting from the 2824s in the larger Grand Crus to the 2892 featured in this piece. Now everything on the dial has to be errorlessly curved to accommodate the concave crystal, all part of Sablier's signature look and the first of its kind. They've also come out with the perfect band for a wine-inspired watch, a band made out of cork. Now this had its own challenges as cork absorbs liquid and can get dirty pretty fast. Now this took some testing and it's now sealed to stay looking nice and gets the oils needed from your skin as you wear it to keep it from cracking. These will be available around the holidays, so if you have a special lady in your life that doesn't seem to like many watches, you might want to show her this one.
Hey guys, when you go to a watch event, you're bound to bump into other YouTubers. So I have Dalton. If you haven't checked out his channel, make sure you do. And I have KDP Ross. So let's just cover, what was your favorite part so far?
I've liked a lot of the vintage stuff I've been looking at. I've really been enjoying the new automatic brew. I'm tempted to get one of those. Other than that, I don't know.
And what did you wear to this watch event?
Anyway, I wore the Radiomir. It's not left my wrist terribly much. Really enjoying it so far.
And then Dalton, what's been your favorite brand?
I think I like Stowa. Best of all.
Are you gonna get the Pilot watch?
I'm tempted. It's a good-looking watch. The price is right there. It'll be a good everyday watch.
And what did you wear to the watch event?
I'm wearing a Rolex Submariner green.
I wore the JLC, so the three of us came to a micro brand watch event, not wearing a micro brand. Yeah, you do.
I don't own one.
The Promare chronograph from Mühle and Glashütte caught my attention with its style and kept my attention with the orange accents and the handsome band. The Valjoux-based movement has been highly modified with a 3/4 main-plate that's a little bit of a tradition for German brands, and includes a beautiful decoration and a complex regulation system. Now this piece also has an impressive water resistance of 300 meters. The carbon-coated dial gives it a pleasantly different look that I liked on the wrist despite its 44mm specs. I was thrilled to see the Ball Watch Company there and their impressive range of offerings. The Aero GMT is a hefty piece with a various range of colored tritium tubes that makes lights out a little more exciting than your usual lume. Now it also features a proprietary crown guard that's fun to play with and a nicely finished bracelet to keep this novelty on your wrist. MeisterSinger has always been one of the elusive brands to pique my curiosity, and I must say our short affair didn't disappoint. If you've thought about a one-handed watch and like me enjoy the practicality of a date, the Pangea is a worthy companion. They have a number of color options, each with just as striking a dial as the one before. Every marker on the outer dial represents 5-minute increments, which means getting comfortable telling the time is a relatively easy adjustment to make. Now the brand also has an in-house movement that boasts a 5-day power reserve. The HP1 by Brew Watch Company was a piece I was eager to look at. After being seduced by the dome on the Bambino, Jonathan's elegant and nostalgic but modern design caught my eye immediately, and the company's modest founder made time to talk to a fan.
So I'm here with Jonathan. He's the founder of Brew Watch Company. Now, when we talked last year, you had only a quartz version, and you weren't sure if you're going to come out with an automatic. But now you've got a beautiful new piece. What can you tell us about it?
I had the new Seiko Automatic NH35 piece. I wanted to do more of a vintage watch. Being a watch enthusiast myself and surrounding myself with a lot of other enthusiasts, I wanted to kind of play tribute to a certain era, a certain type of watch that I'm actually wearing right now. So everything from the design to the scale to the dome, sapphire crystal, something that plays tribute to a certain time period, more like the 60s, 70s, where watches were made a little bit more with more thought and care and quality. And I'll be shipping out in December, so just in time for holiday.
Okay, so if people are interested in getting this, they need to go to the Brew Watch Company website,
Yes.
and they can order. So you have a stainless steel version, you have a black PVD,
Yes.
and a PVD rose gold
Rose gold, yeah.
version as well. All right, well, I love the new design. Thank you so much for talking with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you, CJ.
In my visit with Martenero at last year's windup, I featured their Ascent, Marquis, and Ace models. Now since then, they've released their new model, the Edgemere. The nautical inspiration is immediately apparent, and the colors on the outer chapter ring made me think of all the different colored flags I was introduced to when I joined the Navy. Now the range has several color options for you to check out, and these models look like they make the perfect casual good time weekend watch and leave enough money in the bank to book an adventure. I first featured this brand in a Kickstarter episode on the channel a while back when they were working towards the first release you see here, telling the time on 3 distinctly and individually rotating discs. Well, the company's been a busy little beast since then and now has their second model, the Clock 02. It also seems like a natural evolution of their first release, and in that way is almost more in tandem with their core identity than most micro brands. Now the Clock 02 makes you want to play with it, and pushing the button at the 4 o'clock position allows you to dynamically change the time to any of the other 24 time zones at your disposal. Now the button at 8 o'clock releases the watch head from the band. All clockers have a unique system that secure it to the band, which for a watch nerd also limits your strap options. Now the seconds and minutes have a cool retrograde function that make you watch time fly by a little more fun than your standard time telling companions. My first visit with Aster and Banks last year featured a pretty cool tactical quartz chronograph with a big date and their manual winding AB1405. Now this year I played with their new Pilomatic, particularly the blue dial reference, which will be limited to 50 pieces. The ones delivered will have a few updates, such as the 12 o'clock marker, which will be thicker, matching the width of the hour markers. Additionally, the Pilomatic lettering above the date window will be raised to add a little more balanced feel to the dial. Now I love that the onion crown is screw down, and that gives this piece an incredibly practical 200 meters of water resistance. I had the pleasure of seeing Vanprog pieces for the first time. These pieces come from the beautiful mind of a British watchmaker that enjoys his whiskies and finds inspiration from his father's old watch, which he inherited when he was 10 years old. His Oxford line features a number of variations. Now this isn't a casing company. These movements are Sellita 2200s in the gents and Sellita 1000s in the ladies models. Now once received, they're each hand decorated, regulated, and the custom rotor is actually made by Vanprog and mounted onto each movement. Now the movements are also suspended inside the case, which is providing them with their shock resistance. Like his watches, his packages are inspired by the same era of his father's watch and resemble the classic luxury suitcases from the 50s and 60s. The first time I experienced Oak and Oscar was at last year's event with their now sold out piece, the Burnham. I was eager to see their new release, the Sanford, which really just builds on a proven successful design by this brand. It's a GMT with a very cool double crown layout, making the GMT bezel internal and giving it a beefier look. This particular one was also available in a badass PVD finish, which was super popular and has since sold out. Oak and Oscar also pay particularly impressive attention to packaging functionality, and each of their pieces comes in a large leather wallet that can be used to travel with a number of pieces when you get tired of sitting at home. Now, there's nothing I don't like about what I've seen from this brand so far. This stainless steel version is still available on their website, but I'm sure it won't last long. Last year I was smitten with this chronograph from Stowa, and like any good fling you make sure to visit when you're in town, I had to see the 1938 chronograph again. I love the black dial and overall layout of this piece. Particularly appealing to me is the modified Valjoux, which has had the rotor removed and been converted to hand winding, which gives you a much clearer view of the cam system working when you engage, disengage, and reset the chronograph. Now, I did also get a chance to check out one of the new releases by Squale, and I do have to admit that the blue on this particular piece is absolutely gorgeous. In between the hustle and bustle of the event, Blake and I had a chat about how the event was going, and I managed to forget to turn on the microphone, a rookie mistake. Now, Blake told me that last year's event had a total attendance of just over 3,000 people. This year they had already beat that number in the first day alone, with over 3,500 people coming through. Blake was expecting to pass a whopping 10,000 people by the end of the weekend. Now, I really enjoyed this event, and we'll have to make a longer trip next time to be able to make it around to all the great brands I missed. Now, I got to meet some of the cgwatchfam while I was there, and we went out for drinks after the event, which was a blast. A huge thank you to the guys at Worn and Wound for giving me free reign with my ridiculous amount of recording equipment. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with fellow watch lovers. As always, if this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. That's it for this one. CG, out.